So, welcome back to the channel, and in this video we've got plenty of new parts to get on VXR. We've got new front suspension, top mounts, drop links, rear suspension, front discs and pads, rear discs and pads. We've got new pads for rear springs to sit on onto axle. We've also got some nice carbon fibre upgrades what we've got to put on VXR, but you will see them later on in video. So let's get talking, let's go get started. So first off, we're just going to put jack in place to support rear axle. So now we can just start loosening bolts off the alt shock at car. Once the two bolts are removed, pull the shock away from the car, do exactly the same on the other side, and then we'll be able to get the springs out. Now our springs and shocks are removed, we just need to remove the cup for the coil over the spring, and then we can get those new ones back on. So now let's show you what you're going to be fitting. I'll show you a quick comparison of the old ones and new ones we've got to put on. So as you can see, they were clearly well overdue for a replacement, these. Now let's start putting it together. We'll insert pads into the spring before we put them onto the car because it'll make it easier. Once that's in, we can slot them into the car and then start bolting the shocks back up. That's job one of many complete. Now as rear shocks and springs are on, let's move on to fitting rear discs, pads and new brake disc guards. If you've made it this far in the video, thanks for watching, but please don't forget to hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. So first off, we'll just unscrew his caliper from his carrier, and then we'll move on to removing carrier so we can get disc off. Now that's his caliper carrier and caliper removed, we just need to undo the 4 bolts holding up to rear axle, then we can pull the hub away with the disc guard from the axle. Because the rear disc has absolutely perished, only thing we can do is hammer it off. Then we'll start by splitting hub, and then we can get the new one all put back together. that's that all built back up. It's just a case of putting it back onto the car, tying it all back up, and then we can move on to fitting the discs and pads. So now we've got the hub all bolted back up. It's just a case of putting discs on, putting his pad clips in, getting his pads into his calipers and bolting all that back up. Now that's the driver's side all complete, we're going to flip to the passenger side, do exactly the same. I'm not going to bore you with talking because it's going to be exactly the same as what we've just done. Now we've got rear springs and shocks on. I'm going to move on to front discs and pads because I have got a spring compressor which I'm waiting to be brought today, so I'm going to carry on that a bit later on into the video. So first of all, let's get these caps popped off so we can access bolts for his caliper. Now we've removed his caliper bolts, we'll just pull his caliper away from his carrier and then start undoing his carrier so we can get access to removing disc. Now his carrier is off, we'll undo the little grub screw, pull his disc away, clean it up, put some new copper grease on and start refitting it all back on with his new disc and pads. Now that's driver's side, disc and pads all swapped. We're going to get round to the passenger side, exactly the same process, carrier off, caliper out, brake pads out, disc off, reverse process, all back on. I'll stick it on a quick time lapse because there's no point me telling you which bolts to take out and put back in, so let's get round to the other side. So now that's the disc and pads all complete. Like I said earlier in the video, we're going to come back, get his front suspension on because I needed my friend with his spring compressor. So as you can see, we're just starting to take his brake pipe clips off. Then we'll move on to pulling his ABS sensor off the bottom of his shock, and then we'll just start unbolting. Now we've got his pipes and clips out of the way, we can start undoing his drop link from his anti-roll bar. I'm not going to undo the top one because it's coming out with its shocks and we're going to be replacing them with some brand new ones anyway. Now our drop links are removed, all that's left to do is undo these two bolts that hold the shocker to the hub. Go on top, there's two plastic clips that hold the top mount of the shocker into the body of the car. When you remove them 2 bolts, it's a case of just lowering hub and disc away from car. Now that the old nasty leaking coilover is removed, let's head over to my friend's garage and let's show you what we're building back up. The front shock's all built back up, so let's head home and we'll get them on car. Right, so I appreciate every single one of you that watched this video to this point. But as I said at the start of the video, we have got some carbon bits, and here they are. Some carbon fibre wing mirror caps and a genuine carbon fibre rear fin diffuser. So let's get that on. I can't wait to see what this looks like. So we're going to start by changing mirror caps. All they are is just clipped on these, so a bit of force and you'll be able to pull them off. Passenger side, driver side, we'll get that done. Then we'll move on to bumper. I took the rear diffuser out of the bumper and then realised I couldn't fit the carbon one in because bumper were too flexible, so I ended up having to take the bumper off completely and fitting it that way. It made it so much easier. So there's wing mirror covers all fitted. Massive difference because old ones had gone all faded and it was like a dull carbon, but yes, these are not genuine, but they make it look a lot better. So now it's time to get that carbon diffuser all fitted. So there you have it. Next up is wheels. Let me know in the comments what you think of this carbon diffuser. You can't buy these. I managed to get it second hand, but I've been wanting one for quite some time, and I think it's made a huge difference to rear end VXR. So time's come. We finally picked his wheels up from RS Wheels. Massive shout out to them. They took 4 weeks to do it due to a staff shortage, but finish is second to none. I'll put a link in description for the website if you're wanting any wheel refurbishments, wheel straightening, anything to do with wheels. Hit them guys up. Also, I'll put a quick cinematic in the video and you'll be able to see what we're going to be putting on Nürburgring. Right guys, so that's it. That's Astra all finished. Wheels powder coated, new brakes, new suspension. It's time for summer. Thanks very much for watching. Please hit that like button and please hit that subscribe button. I'll see you in the next